Then we come to profits, the last factor. But before we start with that, let us look how profits is effective and dealt in the different forms of ownership. The sole trader, in the case of a sole trader, the owner receives all the profit that the sole trader has made. Partnerships, the profit belongs to the partners. The profit of the partnership is shared according to the partnership agreement. In the close corporation, they say here that the profit of the close corporation belongs to the close corporation. It is shared amongst members according to the founding agreement. Members should agree upon the date of repayment as well as the amount of money that will be kept in the business so that the business can grow. I would like you to hear this one. It differs in the sense from partnerships and sole traders in the sense that not all the profit that the close corporation has made should be divided. No, a certain part of the profit should be retained in the business so that the business can grow. And this is called the retained income. In companies, it works the same. Now, private companies and public companies, ownership and distribution of profits is the profit of the company belongs to the company. It is shared amongst the shareholders according to the number and the value of the shares each shareholder has buy. The divisions of profits, why it's successful? Firstly, the owner, in the case of a private company, the sole trader, partnerships and close corporations. In the case of a sole trader, the owner receives all the profits. In the case of a partnership, all the profits is being divided amongst the number of partners. In the case of a close corporation, the full amount of profits is not available for sharing amongst the members. No. In the founders' agreement, they will determine what percentage of the profit must remain in the business, and that retained income coming from the profit will be used in the company for further expansions. The reasons for failure in the case of a sole trader, partnership and close corporations needs to budget carefully to cover all the debts of the business. Very, very important is, if the sole trader makes a profit, he shouldn't be very happy, because before he can take ownership of the profit, he must still pay out of that profit, he must still pay the other debts of the business, and then the remaining part goes to him. An amount of work done may not be equal to the amount of profits received. Remember, in the case of a sole trader, in the case of a partnership, and in the case of a close corporation, the member or the partners can be remunerated according to the work that he or she has done in the close or the partnership. In the case of the company, the division of profits in the case of companies, why it's successful, the following reasons has been given. Profits are split between companies and shareholders. The board of directors decide the portion of the net profit to be kept for expansion. In other words, for the retained income. High profits and goods returned to shareholders indicate success, which increases the value of shares. Reasons for failure: dividends are not always paid out. It is true. Dividends are not always paid out, especially in the case where the business and the company experience very, very big cash flow problems. The market value of shares can decrease when dividends paid out to the shareholders is low, because the shareholders lose interest in the company and wants to sell their shares. Now, very, very important is, remember what I have said earlier. I say to you that whenever you do a topic, content topic, you must be able to answer those specific content topics in a manner that you can adhere to all the different types of questions. For example, data response questions, essay type questions, and so on. Very important. Explain, discuss how the divisions of profit and of the different forms of ownership influence the success of the business. Now, very, very important is it is required from you. There it is. Some of the action verbs: explain, discuss. In this you present arguments, and this must be supported with appropriate evidence. Analyze, evaluate the impact. From here, the examiner expected to respond, the person to respond in their positive and negative manner, or to take a neutral or a positive negative stand. Very important. It is important that when you analyze, you evaluate the impact. Impact, if you see the word impact, you must know that you must talk about the positives as well as the negative. Compare, differentiate to show both the differences and the similarities. Use a table to do a comparison. Full sentences are not necessary. Another action verb in the question paper is justify. To give a statement of why you think something is so, give reasons for your statement, or come up with a conclusion. Right, with this we come to the end. But before I wish you well, I would say to you that very important, you have got the whole day tomorrow to prepare yourself, and use your time wisely. Don't study until tomorrow night, 9 o'clock or 12 o'clock. Then you will be too tired on Wednesday morning to sit down. So if I had to give you advice, round about tomorrow afternoon, 6 o'clock, you should finish comparing yourself and then go into a relaxing mode, go to bed early so that you can be very, very fresh on Wednesday, the 19th of November, when you sit down for this paper. All the good luck to our grade 12s.